Hey, I'm Liam, and this is the Baller Bus. I've had this bus for 3 years now. It took about 2 summers to build, and yeah, I want to give you a tour.
This video is sponsored by Anchor. Click the link in the description and use code ANCHORUS1750 for $100 off your Powerhouse solar generator and enjoy the outdoor life better this spring.
So my buddy and I, we were hiking in Myanmar, and it was like, we should just get a bus and go to Panama in it from Canada. And he was just like, yeah, that'd be sick. That night I was like drawing up floor plans for the bus. Didn't even know it was called a Skoolie. It was very much like, oh, this would be a sick idea. And then it was like, many other people had this sweet idea as well. Originally the plan was we would just meet one summer and then build out the bus. But what ended up happening was mostly me and my mom that built it. And then the cost was obviously way higher than we thought, because it's far nicer than I thought it would be, which is mostly thanks to my mom. Like, she's a good carpenter, so she helped with the inside. There was no time when it was like I was stumped. The initial curve of the bus, that was probably the most difficult, taking into account my skill level. When I was building this, the resource that wasn't there is how long does it actually take? So I actually have like every single hour and dollar recorded. I ended up paying a majority of it because it was more than the guys thought it would be, which is fair. And then after the trip, it was like, I have a bus now. Like, what am I gonna not use it? That just makes sense. So yeah, this is the Baller Bus. It's International CE 300. Engine for full size, but it's only a 9 window. Full size would be 12 window. There's 430 amp hours of lead acid batteries. Realistically, probably only like 200 amp hours now. When I first got the system, I wasn't charging them enough. Now it charges at 14.1, which is great just for the alternator. And then this inverter, I would recommend Best Tech step inverter. No issues with the fridge, laptops, electronics, everything. The whole roof raise in general was so easy. Basically, there's a hat channel that kind of runs around the length of the bus that kind of makes the curve. So when you do a roof raise, you basically cut those hat channels, and then you just slide in a square tubing in the actual hat to just extend that kind of support. You raise 18 inches, and you could put a 4-foot sheet of steel where your windows used to be, and it kind of fits perfectly. Puts this bus about 12.8, close to 12.10 with the solar panel rack. These are RV windows taken from a wrecker. You can see where the stud is, kind of thing. So I just kind of built out a little frame around that for these double windows. The single ones, they fit pretty much perfectly in between. So this is the basketball hoop. So it's like a full-size regulation hoop you could just set up in a parking lot. I have a motorbike that long-term I want to put on this, and then I could do like a motorcycle trip with you guys. These 3 things are just like ramps that I can walk up a motorcycle on. The rest is just kind of storage and stuff. Originally, these 4 panels were up at the front here. That's why there's currently no floor up here. This is my personal favorite thing I've ever made. It's a little array that allows me to pivot with the sun. I can go up to about 56 degrees. Those 2 in the back are just monocrystalline, also 100 watts each, so 600 total. It's funny seeing them side by side. They're actually the same output, but yeah, so much smaller. And it's funny because I added 200 extra watts, and now I actually have more space on the bus with this tilted up, because it kind of tilts out the back. There's the stovepipe that's been slaughtered a few times, and then the lower deck originally built for the basketball net to sit on. And this is where Patricia sits right now. This is old rusty surfboard. So yeah, this is just a propane, and then my gray water here. Propane lasts me about 3 to 4 months full time with 4 people. If I do a lot more cooking, a bit less. Fresh water on the other side, it's about 400 liters. Yeah, come on in. Credit goes to my mom for all the framing. She's a really good carpenter. That's why everything looks nice and trim. This winter I wasn't sure if I was going to be at a ski hill or not, and so along with the stove, I put up some insulating barriers, just velcroed onto the roof, so I can just take them off and put them on a bunk if I'd like. So this was a present from my mom. She laid down a map and then printed it out. I mean, I still can draw out our trip, basically, like the route we wanted to take. And I probably will eventually. I have 5 seatbelts, so I could legally drive 5 people. There's some states that are really concerned about the amount of seatbelts. Depends where you get your Skoolie license. Talked for hours with the engineers at SGI, built this whole mounting frame specifically just so I could get this seat in. Turns out just all I needed to do was put the seat buckles to the frame. I started with the PWM charge controller, and that was just straight from 400 watts to my panels. And then this summer I decided to get an MPPT, and then I've got my, just like a house breaker box, and then 12 volt and house power that goes throughout the whole bus. When I was first making this and wiring it, I was all worried about loss of power because you have 12 volt power, and then you convert that to AC, and then you convert it back to DC. It just didn't make sense. So that put those 12 volts all around the back of the bus. Never really ended up using them, but you know, they're there in case I want, I guess. This is a Cubic Mini Grizzly stove. It goes through the side. I saw one video on YouTube, and then I went to find it again, and I can't find it. Cubic Mini on their website says it needs to go straight up. It's not true at all. This is just pellet pipe from Canadian Tire. It would fit perfectly, you just get a muffler extender. And the nice part about this is I can actually unhook the whole stovepipe, take it all off, put it under a bed, and then have seating here, which is great. This was designed for a microwave. It doesn't quite work, but what's really cool is I could actually put my laptop up here and my keyboard here, and I could just have a standing desk, which has turned out to be really nice. If you're living in like minus conditions, your water will freeze, so just added an auxiliary water tank in here. I just pour water in through here. I've got a little 25-liter jug in the back that I just use to fill it. And yeah, it's been working all right. This stove is basically what the whole design was based on. I got it from an RV wrecker. I was like, yep, and then the whole color scheme kind of just matched that. I'm able to cook like a nice loaf of bread pretty easily, actually. This is just an AC fridge. Sized it accordingly, like on sunny days with the 400 watts originally. Half of the power that's created from those solar panels would power the fridge, and the other half I would have extra. This is my favorite part of the bus. I think it's just so cool. I didn't exactly plan for this, but basically when we had some of the framing out, it's like, oh, I could just put a ladder here. It takes zero space, and then you could put shelves on it, and it works really well, so I can't really have much better than that. This is a recent addition, you know, on those down days in the market. When you're investing, you just want to hit something sometimes. No, it's been really good actually, and it takes up no space, and it works as a decent door to the back. The shower, it's really nothing special. What I did is, because it was 4 guys on the trip, I basically just put like a urinal in that cleans itself with the water from the sink, and then just like a bucket basically. You can put a little composting stuff in there and use ashes from the stove. Built it for 4 tall guys to sleep in, so these are all queens cut in half. Obviously these bunks can lift up. A small closet in the back, and then a TV and swivels. We watched a few movies, play some Smash Bros, and that's a bus. If I were to go back in time, or if I could, I would just sit myself down, like literally just give me a slap and be like, listen here, and invest in who you want to be, where you want to go, and who you want to be with, and what life you want to live. It's more than just financial, like it's emotional, like spiritual, and there's decisions we make every day where it's like we can invest, which is to delay the short-term gain, and then prosper long-term, like way more than you ever could have, or even could dream of, or take that short-term feel good. We're faced with that, like minute by minute. Like every morning you wake up, do you get up when your alarm goes off, or do you not? Like for so long, I haven't been. You can't help someone if you haven't helped yourself. I can't help you financially if I don't have my finances in order. It's not that you can't like help someone when you're also struggling, but what kind of help are you giving them? If you do really care about who you're trying to help, the quality of your help should be there, right? And so to get that quality up, you need to have yourself in order, really, to help others, and that's what I'm kind of realizing.
The Anker Powerhouse 2 800 is a reliable portable solar generator designed to charge your personal electronics and small appliances anytime and anywhere. With the Powerhouse, you are able to enjoy your off-grid life in a more relaxed way, whether at home or outdoors. It's built to last. With its rugged design and reinforced frame, it makes it perfect to take on road trips and longer expeditions. With its wide compatibility with portable solar panels, you can charge it anywhere there's sun, and it stores a whopping 777 watt-hours of power, which is enough to charge your phone over 55 times, your MacBook 10 times, or over 10 hours with a mini fridge. With its smooth multitask charging, you can charge 11 devices simultaneously, without interference or sacrificing power at any of the ports. It's powerful enough to run small appliances wherever you need them. Click the link in the description and get your powerhouse now. Use code ANCHORUS1750 for $100 off and enjoy the outdoor life better this spring.